vibing with the tide, vibing. Bama pride, it's a whole lot of that on this side. Rolling with the guys, vibing with the tide. Come on, vibe.
Yo, 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 what's up? Welcome back. Vibing with the Tide. We missing somebody today. Who we missing today? We missing Braxton, ain't it?
What's the man's name? Yeah,
Braxton.
that's it. That's it.
I guess it's just us, man. He left the wrong two people to do the pod by themselves. Ain't no telling how this may go. but we gonna get it. We gonna get her done. We gonna
Off the rails.
get
Here
her
we
done.
go. Yes,
but
sir.
but this is your boy J Mark. And I'm with my co-host Daniel. How you feeling today, man?
Hey, fantastic. I'm ready to chop it up for the post game on Vandy and obviously get into the preview of
The
this next
preview.
one in Columbia.
Okay. So it was a big football weekend, man. Some upsets, some
Coast to
crazy.
coast. From sun up to sundown. It was a crazy Saturday.
So let's talk, kind of get in there just real quick. So what was the biggest upset to you?
To me, I feel like there's a couple of like just glaring obvious ones out there, but I'm gonna stay at home in the SEC. Texas had no business going down there to the swamp and losing. And I feel like a lot of people, I'd have to go back and look at, the money that was coming in on Vegas and, the whether the majority was actually on Texas or not. But I feel like this is all a result of this massive deflated letdown is a result of the media gassing up anybody with the last name Manning. So it's just, he went in there, he carried his weight for a little while, but just didn't do enough to beat a subpar Florida Gator team. So to me, that was a upset. I think they walked in there number 9, right?
Yeah.
So that's a textbook upset in my mind.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad for Arch. Arch didn't ask for this. He just
Nope.
he just committed to Texas. It's like he committed to Texas and his last name Manning. It's not even his daddy, not even Peyton or Eli. That's his uncle. Oh
Right.
man. So I kind of feel bad for him, man. I hope he doesn't get like deflated and just discouraged to where he come back next year and it kind of like the same thing over again. So um
I
I
agree. Because if you check his demeanor, he's not out there just flexing. He's
yeah,
not strutting, any kind of way. He's not trying to overcompensate for anything. Like he really is just being himself. And for the most part, he really just lays low and plays his role. He's not out there acting a fool on social media.
yeah,
He's doing good things like with the NIL money and stuff. A lot of folks don't, a lot of that stuff doesn't hit headlines, but he's philanthropic. He's giving. Like I like the kid. I
yeah.
like the person. But like you said, he can't help it. He's a byproduct of the last name and what media has done. So
Did you see
what
what
about
Joe Clatt said?
I did.
Joe Clatt said if Ty Simpson was Ty Manning, you would give him the Heisman right now.
Right. Call it now. Going into the second week of October,
Yeah,
go ahead and call it. That's it. That's
yeah.
it.
But yeah, man, that was definitely a big upset. But Florida gonna always have athletes. When you recruit in the
They
state of
do.
Florida, you're gonna always have athletes. It just can the coach put that team together,
That's right.
and maybe kind of Florida did kind of did the same thing last year. They kind of started off bad and kind of picked it up as the season went on and
That's right.
saved Billy Napier's job. So
That's
maybe
right.
this may be a turning point for them. You never know. Maybe just a wake up game. They just woke up for this game because it's Texas and Arch Manning in the swamp too.
That's right. I
Yeah,
feel bad for Florida as a team though because I looked at ESPN's latest lineup of the FPI predictions, and
mm,
for the rest of their schedule, there's only one game that they're actually slated to win. So if that team, if the players want to keep Billy Napier in Gainesville in 2026,
yeah,
they better turn it up a notch. But
yeah, yeah. That's good, man. Well, and also UCLA and Penn State, but Penn State I say this every year. Penn State is one of the most overrated teams every year. I don't
yes,
know
sir.
why they believe in James Franklin. but because so Penn State they lost that big game against Oregon. I think they just had to travel across all the way to the other side of the coast and probably jet lag. I don't know, making excuses for it.
And it's valid to an extent, but at the
Yeah,
same time, um, uh, these aren't just kids anymore. They're not
yeah,
just kids. These are professionals. A lot of them making upwards of seven figures doing what
yeah,
they're doing. So I don't care if you're going to Shanghai. You better execute, perform. I'm serious, man. It's a
yeah.
business now.
It is a
So
business, and James Franklin better make sure he ain't on the wrong side of business and he can get fired.
it's getting rocky up there in Happy Valley.
But think about it, this is probably the best they've been since Joe Pat, since Joe Pa.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
so who you gonna find? Who you gonna pay that much money to come to Penn State when you got to recruit against Ohio State and Michigan every year?
Right. I don't legitimately think that, and they're probably out of these next four games, they have to go, I think, to Indiana, they have to go to the Horseshoe. Um, so I think they lose at least two more games, and they're not even sniffing the CFP anymore.
Yeah,
But I don't think that uh, leads to Franklin's demise. I
yeah,
think he'll be there again in 2026. He's I personally think he's one of the top 15 coaches in the nation.
yeah,
He's good with developing not just any one position group. He's good across the board. So they'll retain him. He'll be fine. It's just that's a massive letdown. Do you think? Let me ask you a question. Do you think that was more of more of UCLA, Nico Amaliava executing and winning the game, or was that more Penn State just losing the game? You know what I'm trying to articulate?
yeah. I think Penn State, like I said, you when you lose a big game against Oregon like that in overtime, then you have to play a UCLA team where you feel like, okay, they're not that good. We can just show up. Yes, then
Yep,
you get an experienced quarterback like Nico's experienced quarterback. He played at Tennessee, so it's
he
not
is.
like he started out at UCLA. So he's not afraid of big games.
That's
And
right.
I think Penn State just went in there. They was not focused. They just lost a big game. Now you got to wake up for this game against a team that you don't respect. UCLA, they're gonna wake up for you because you Penn State. Like so,
Absolutely.
I think Penn State just lost the game, But I will give credit to UCLA. I will give credit to the team that won it because they had to go out there and win the game too. So,
Yes, sir.
uh, yeah. So, but yeah, man, this I talk for the college football landscape. So let's get to the main event
Let's
of
go.
this
Let's
weekend.
go.
So I want to ask you this: Was this game a bigger win versus Vanderbilt, or was it a bigger win versus Georgia? Which one do you think is the bigger win for us this year?
For morale in the locker room, I know I'm splitting hairs. I'm not even addressing your question. For the morale in the locker room and for the sake of retribution and setting things straight,
Yeah.
this Vandy game was circled with a red Sharpie on everybody's calendar for
Yeah.
the fan base, for resume building in the eyes of the college football playoff committee,
Hmm.
absolutely going into Athens and knocking them off.
Yeah.
Me personally, which one am I more pleased with?
Uh-huh.
This Vandy game, particularly the last 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, man.
That was huge.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was
what about you?
definitely the Vandy game, man, because it's not that it's because it's Vandy, because the trash talk before the game. And they made what did they Diego Pavia like this next coming of Johnny Manziel. They had
Hmm.
on game day in SEC Nation, they had this whole thing about last year, Vanderbilt, big upset versus Alabama. I'm like, we need to shut this up. Like, we cannot let this keep going on forever. So it was very sweet revenge against Vanderbilt. If we lose now, like you said, when it comes to our resume, Georgia's definitely the better team.
No doubt.
Vanderbilt, I don't think Vanderbilt even really played anybody tough this year. So, but Georgia is always going to be a tough team. You got Kirby Smart, and it just feels good to beat Georgia and knock them off that 33 game win streak at home. It
Yes,
feels
sir.
good. But the revenge factor, like I said, I think for that locker room, for them mentally, if we would lost that game against Vanderbilt, it would have been a big letdown. We were like, oh, not again, and then
Yep.
also there'd be two losses. So yeah, we had to kind of win that game.
Yes, sir.
So I was what grade on offense and defense? Give a grade to each side of the ball, offense and defense for the game.
It's hard not to look at the two separate halves, but I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
look at the complete body of work on offense. I'm gonna give it a B minus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the passing game, the passing attack is elite.
Yeah.
And it is all anchored on Ty, his ability to read a defense, making
Mm-hmm.
his progressions, and executing. But I was happy to see. I'm gonna upgrade it to a B plus, and here's
Okay.
why. I was happy to see Ryan Grubb continue to stick with the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Vandy's front seven is not elite by any means, but they're still a formidable opponent, and
Yeah.
they're an SEC opponent at the end of the day. Anytime you can run the ball on the SEC opponent, that's a big win in itself. And Jay Miller, I think he ended up with a little over 20 touches, 22,
Mm-hmm.
24 touches, and
Mm-hmm.
well over 100 yards rushing. So to me, the biggest question mark coming into this game is: are we actually going to be able to run the ball and get more than 2.9 yards per carry? And the resounding answer to that was yes. So,
Mm-hmm.
going to give our offense a B plus. I think we should have hung more points than 30 on them. We were lackadaisical in the first half, and if it wasn't for Jeremy Bernard with 25 seconds left in the first half, we would only had 7 in the first half, and that's just to me, that's kind of a poor performance.
Yeah.
Now, defensively. Again, it's hard not to look at the two halves. Looking at the complete body of work, I'm proud of our defense. Proud of Cam Womack for making adjustments for the last 30 minutes. We did not get to Diego as many times as I wish we would have. Only
Mm-hmm.
sacked him once, but go back and look at the film. He was
Mm-hmm.
he was sprinting out of the pocket a lot, and it wasn't designed sprint outs.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting heat. He was getting pressured. And you go back to the first episode of season 2. Vividly remember being in that hotel room up there in Detroit, talking about who I thought my breakout player of the year was going to be for defense. And I remember bringing up Justin Jefferson, and that
Mm-hmm.
man I wouldn't call it a breakout game. I would
Mm-hmm.
call it a NFL draft day resume building game.
Yeah.
14 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and a forced fumble. That is how you make a name for yourself. That is how you turn the tide for
Yeah.
making a name for yourself the rest of the season and being a key contributor and a critical player for our defense. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, for me, I give our offense, man, I give offense an A. I'm not a tough grader.
I,
I
I
give
hear
him
you
an A.
because a win's a
I,
win.
yeah, win's the win. Um, I think I definitely agree with you that I'm glad that we didn't get away from the run game, especially when we got the lead. I'm glad we didn't try to get pass happy. I like how Ty spread the ball around again. Like I said, I'm a big proponent of a quarterback spreading the ball around, not just trying to focus on 1 or 2 receivers, because then it makes the corners have to play the whole field, not just one side of the field. Uh, I'm glad Jan Miller had a breakout game. I think and Jan Miller did a great job in pass pro like he always does. But I'm glad he got over 100 yards and a touchdown because this season for him is the moneymaker season, as in getting drafted into the NFL. So every time he touches the ball, does a great job. Then I'm always gonna root for that. I think offensive line did pretty good. But I will say Ty did kind of try to play hero ball a little bit, hold the ball a little too long. I think the one touchdown to where I think maybe our first touchdown when he kind of got away and threw it to Ryan Williams. He
Mhm.
kind of felt like he kind of do that the whole game. But as the game goes on, your legs get a little heavy, so you can't always do that. So you got to throw the ball away. But I think he acknowledged that he needs to throw the ball away. I think they just come with learning experience. Um, our defense, our defense, I just give it an A across the board. I know that people might say, I'm being too simple about it, but like you say, it's a tale of 2 halves, man. When
Yes, sir.
number 28 busts that run, I said, not this shit again. I said, oh my God.
I
I was like,
know.
I know we're not about to let them run the ball on us all day like they did last year. We cannot let that happen. I was like so deflated. And I saw that because I felt like defense should have been prepared to have they like you had said in the text, the run fits, like have those run fits. However, second half, we made adjustments on defense, but also like I said, it helped that we got the lead because it made Vanderbilt not just run the ball. They had to get out their comfort zone, actually throw the ball down the field, and Diego Pavia had to hold that ball. And like you say, we had Justin Jefferson who was sitting right there. If he wanted to take off, Justin Jefferson got the foot speed to go get him. He just had to make the tackle. All you gotta do on Diego Pavia is make the tackle.
That's right.
So and that strip fumble. If we would never got that strip fumble on Diego Pavia, I feel like they were gonna score on that drive. So they came at a very opportune time. And I feel like our defense got really stingy on defense trying to get turnovers. So Keon Sabb, who I called out last week, I said Keon Sabb playing like trash. He had a he had a big interception. I thought he was gonna take it all the way to the house, but it looked like he got slipped. He got a little too happy and tripped his feet up all the way happened. I saw a video on the sideline video of how Clinton Dix telling him, "Look, you got to pick six that man. You can't. What you doing? You got to be
Right.
a pick six. Like that's the standard. Like every time I see a safety get an interception, I think about him and Eddie Jackson taking it to the house. I'm like,
Yes, sir.
it's going to the house every time, but
Yeah.
because Eddie Jackson would do it. Eddie Jackson catch that thing and take it to the crib. But I'm just glad that Keon Sabb had a big play. So hopefully they get him for confidence, going into the next game. What do you think, as you as a defensive guy, you probably have a better eye than me than I do. What do you think the defense made adjustment wise to kind of stop Vanderbilt?
Talking about from last year to this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Um, Glad you asked. Uh, to me, the biggest thing, it's easy to point at Diego Pavia because he is the cornerstone of that offense. But in 2024, Eli Stowers was an absolute menace to our secondary. He had
Mm-hmm.
6 catches for 116 yards, never got in the paint, but
Mm-hmm.
he was just getting open. Several option routes where Pavia hit him, and he ended up well over 100 yards. This past Saturday, he only had 3 catches for 22 yards.
Okay.
So neutralizing Eli Stowers, who in my mind is still really early to tell what NFL draft day is going to look like, but Eli Stowers to me is a top 64 pick. He's one of those
Yeah.
first 2 round guys, heavily predicated on team needs. He may not even end up going in the first 3 rounds. I don't know, but that dude is elite. He reminds me of a Mike Evans kind of
Mm-hmm.
receiver, just big
Yeah.
bodied, not crazy fast. On a 40 time, but he gets open. He high points the ball, and those 5'10", 5'11" DBs can't really do anything with him. So to neutralize him, hold him, well under 50 yards, ended up with 22. That to me was a key difference in the outcome for last year and the outcome this year.
Okay. It's good. Do you feel like our defensive line is starting to get a better groove now, kind of going into the season? Kind of with Tim Keenan coming back, you think that probably helped a lot, and some of the young guys stepping up. Like, I don't know, is Edric Hill a young guy? I just don't remember him at all. Last,
I'm not sure. I don't think he's one of those transfers. I think he is one
okay,
of the younger cats. But to answer
okay,
your question, I do think that they're continuing to uh, mold themselves. They're continuing to kind of
mhm,
to gel. I don't think it's a complete product just yet.
yeah,
This is only week 2 of having Tim Keenan back fully healthy,
hmm,
playing 80% plus of the snaps. Um, and then we had Smith, who was out the first half, so we kind of had to
oh yeah,
rotate some guys in for the first 30 minutes
hmm,
because of him not being there. So I think that our defensive line will continue to get better, and will continue to gel more, have better chemistry across the board. And the thing about Tim Keenan is, even if he's not showing up on the stat sheet, he's not
hmm,
getting the the TFLs or the quarterback pressures or the sacks or whatever, he is commanding so much attention
Hmm.
and getting double teamed. It's going to open up LT Overton and Smith and London when he's in there and these other guys to have opportunities to come off the edge and get things done in the backfield. So that's how he's going to make his money is just preoccupying the guys in front of him.
Yeah, I think James Smith, it ended up being a blessing that he didn't play the first half. Because the second half he had fresh legs, so he could like just he was
That's a good point.
he
That's a good
so
point.
I think that was a big turnaround too with him having fresh legs. It made him be aggressive all game. He wasn't tired. He only played 30 minutes, so he wasn't tired at all. So it kind of put more pressure on that offensive line for protection and open up some of my linebackers like Justin Jefferson to get in the backfield or other players to get in the backfield. So James Smith being out ended up being to me being a blessing. Um, but also I don't remember this hit. You remember the hit? I think at the beginning of the game where I don't know who hit Diego Pavia. Then Edric Hill came and hit him right. I was
Yes,
like,
sir.
I told somebody that's literally a car crash. I don't know how Diego Pavia got up because I would have been asleep the rest of the game. They would have had to
Right.
take me to the locker room, and probably put some of that smelling salt under my nose so they try
Right.
to come back out there. Because that was a big hit, man. I was like,
That was a big hit.
I don't know how Diego Pavia got up after that hit.
That play in itself was a lesson to all young aspiring football players, specifically defensive players. That play right there, case in point, that is why you always pursue to the ball, even if you're already
Yes.
behind the ball carrier. He's already
Yeah.
passed you and he's to the next level. That is why you backside pursuit to the ball because
Mm,
he just might get tripped up, slowed down somehow, and you're
yeah.
going to get an opportunity to punish
Yes.
him at least
Hmm.
1 out of 10 times. But that one
Yeah.
time, boy, it's worth it.
Yeah, man. That was a big hit. And I think we also, like you said, that swarm defense, they doing better, like you said, pursuing the ball, going after the ball. Everybody running towards the ball because if you slow up, the offensive player, you never know. You slow up, they can just hit one little crease and it's over. That's why you got to run to the ball hard.
That's right.
So I want to ask you another question. Do you think it's time for Alabama to find another kicker?
Talty, you know, I think so. No, I don't. I don't. We so I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know who the special teams coordinator is for
Hmm.
Alabama now. But I can tell you in the past we've given our kickers the ability to work and to learn and to grow
Yeah.
throughout the week leading up to
Mm,
game day
yeah.
almost fully autonomously. Like
Uh-huh.
they're during when we're doing indie or we're doing 7-on-7 or team drills or whatever, the kickers are like they're in the barn doing their own thing.
Okay.
Um, so there's really not a whole lot of and I'm not trying to make any disparaging remarks by any means. Specialists are different altogether.
Yeah.
Kickers, they don't have as much accountability throughout the week,
Hmm.
where the coach is really just trusting them to continue to perfect their craft and do their drills on their own. So I don't think we need to give up on Talty, young kid.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of our, man, how'd you miss that? Um, I think we've been spoiled with the likes of, Will Reichard,
Yeah.
and some of those other guys that came before Will. So it's not time to hop off the Talty train just yet. We
Yeah.
we got to give that kid some grace and patience, just like we have, Ryan Williams and everybody else that's had some struggles. Talty will continue to put up good points for us, and he'll be clutch when we need him. What do you
That's
think?
I look. I'm saying, look. If I hope a game don't come down to a kick, is all I'm saying.
That's
If at least,
that's
especially if it's over 35 yards. Uh,
mm,
but I get traumatized from Lee Tiffin. I get traumatized, man.
I,
I get. I get traumatized from those games where we
You
missed a
going
kick and
back in the
it's
archives.
man, I'm telling you, I get traumatized. So I think if it come down to it, if it's game on the line, I think Kalen DeBoer would trust Ty Simpson to make a play and those receivers to make a play if we have to, and not put
Yeah,
it in the and not put it because I don't think he wants to put that pressure on Talton. He was like, look, we gonna go just win this game. We just gonna not put it on the kicker. I'm pretty sure he believes in the kicker, but that's a lot of pressure if you playing in big games. Think about if we in the SEC championship and fourth quarter, and we need 5 yards. We either can kick it or for the field goal or go for the 5 yards. I think we're gonna go for the five. We're just gonna do it because I think Ty and his offense has proven that they can get 5 yards.
I agree. I
Yeah,
definitely agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully he gets better. Hopefully, like I said, I'm not gonna give up on him because kicking it, you can't find a kicker anywhere. You can't find him on the on the street.
You
Okay,
really
so
can't.
so if we had somebody better, I'm pretty sure they'd be kicking the ball. So I'm just like I said, I just don't want it to come down to a kick. So any last words about the game versus Vanderbilt? Anything else you want to kind of hit on?
Um,
Anything anything that you saw that like is gonna be good for going into the next game?
um, I'll continue, and we've mentioned it in episodes in the past, but want to continue to give credit where it's due. Our secondary, despite the run fits, uh, our secondary is elite. I want to
Yeah.
say that our secondary is because we got what 12 teams in the playoff. Our secondary is top 12, and
Mm-hmm.
I actually think they're like top six in the
Yeah.
nation. Um, and I really feel like a lot of the incompletions that uh, Diego had Saturday was due to those guys just being covered up. Guys
Mm-hmm.
like Eli Stowers again. Diego did a good job of not really trying to force things. I know he had two turnovers. One of those was an interception, but he really didn't force a whole lot. He was
Yeah.
just throwing the ball away and being creative with his legs. So a lot of those rush attempts that he had was due to our secondary being in really good position, playing really well in both zone and man looks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they'll continue to get better too. We haven't seen them plateau. Like we're going to continue to see those cats
Yeah.
get better. So that's just my last bullet point on the Vandy game. Secondary was super clutch.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to go without this. I want to shout out Caden Proctor, man. Caden Proctor may be the best offensive weapon we have, man. You can't.
He he's a Swiss Army knife, man. And you know what's crazy is you go back to game day. I think it was Coach Saban
Uh-huh.
actually called that.
Yeah, he
He
did. He
he
said.
he he called it, and
He
sure
said.
enough, Grub made it happen.
He said just like Mount Cody, give him the ball, man. Put the
Yes,
ball in his
sir.
stomach. I just hate the number 11 tried so hard. Like he tried so hard, like try to stand Caden Proctor up. He was like,
He,
just
look,
couldn't
man,
do
and for somebody who's my size, like I can admire the heart, but bro, at the
man,
end of the day, physics is physics. You got to
man.
make a business decision. Get out the way.
His back gonna feel that. His back
Oh
like,
yeah.
why my back hurt? Because you just
Oh
try to
yeah.
tackle a man 6'7", 340 pounds. What do you
You
think? you
you can't
think
win. You
you're
can't
not
win.
gonna win? So I think that's gonna stay in the playbook. We got short yardage. May just put Big K back there and hand him the ball. You never know. Or either they can fake it, easily fake it, and then do a big play off that play action or something. So
That's right.
you can do a lot with that. Do a lot. All right. So next up, we got the team that everybody forget about in the SEC. Missouri. I know I forget about them. When people ask me what our teams in the SEC, Missouri is not one of them that I think of. But however, it looks like they're pretty good this year. I haven't watched them. I just haven't seen Missouri games. I don't see them on TV. But the way people are talking about them, like they're really good on offense and defense. Have they played anybody? I don't know. Have you been able to watch them or see anything about them?
I've watched a little bit of what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
Their competition hasn't been as great as
Okay.
some of the other opponents that we'll see in the SEC. Um, but one thing that you can't refute is their ability to run the ball.
Okay.
Yeah, their running back Ahmad Hardy, to me, is probably the best right now with the offensive line that he has and how healthy they are,
Hmm.
and the holes that they're making. He might be the best running back in the SEC until
Okay.
proven otherwise. He's got 730 yards amassed already through 5 games, averaging over 6.5 yards per carry. And if you look at Bo Prabula, the quarterback, if you look at his stats and his average passing yards per game, it's not anything to write home about. But it's because you got this offensive line and the Ahmad Hardy taking the pressure off the quarterback's arm to have to throw and make plays. They
Yeah.
are running the ball down people's throats, and nobody's really able to make the adjustment to stop it.
So it sounds like our linebackers would have had a hard hat ready for this game.
Oh, absolutely. They
Okay.
Deontay Lawson, those guys. I know that Womac's going to throw different looks at Mizzou, but they better be ready to step up in the A gap and the B gap and stop the run because they're going to run the ball 25 plus times.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I've seen it kind of go back to the Vanderbilt game. I've seen it again. Seen two linebackers go in the same gap. I'm like, I don't know what y'all doing sometimes going to the same gap, but I hope we don't do it this time because I ain't got time for a team running the ball on us for 200 some yards. I just don't have time for it.
I
Just
know.
don't have time. So does Missouri do a lot of play action off their run since they are a great running team? Do they do some good play action off the run? Because
Uh,
they can definitely get our DBs and safeties looking in the backfield and throw the ball over their head.
They have the ability to, but what I've seen, a little bit of their footage that I've watched, Bo Prabula. So Mizzou coming out of the gate this year was underrated because nobody really knew who Bo Prabula was and what he's
Okay.
able to do. He had 72 rushing yards against South Carolina. South Carolina's defense is arguably the best that they've seen so far. But he put 72 yards rushing up on them, and he has the ability to facilitate an RPO style offense. He can make
Okay.
those reads, and if he
Yeah.
has to get it done with his legs, he can. So he's not this prototypical pocket passer. Homie can get downfield too if he has to. So we have to be careful with that.
So that's kind of remind me of maybe like Bama days with Tua, that RPO game, man. Especially if you got receivers who you can spread the ball around and get the ball out quick. So I don't know, do they have like a group of receivers, or they have that one receiver that they can kind of depend on? Cause they had that. What's the guy name was Lutheran Burden the third?
Luther Burden,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They have. I know he's gone to the NFL, so I don't know if anybody stepped up in his place or
He
not.
they've got what's the kid's name? And I'm looking it up off to the side here.
Okay.
It's Kevin Coleman Jr. He's a
Them Coleman's,
senior.
man. Them
Yeah,
Coleman's.
exactly. And I don't know if there's any relation, but right now Kevin Coleman's been Prabula's go-to. He's just shy of 400 yards on the year.
Okay.
So he's the go-to guy. But outside of Coleman, it's
Okay.
not uh, a very stacked portfolio of receivers for Prabula. Our secondary should have a relatively easy day.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. Our offense, do you think we should try to put up big points, or just control the game, try to keep their running back off the field? What do you think our offense should be able to, should do this game?
Um, you know, I like our pace of play
Mm-hmm.
when we're in our passing game, and we're able to make those chunk 20+ yard plays or explosive plays, as Coach Saban calls them. But in my mind, for an early game like this, 11 o'clock kickoff going into Columbia, I feel like time of possession is going to be key. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If
Yeah.
Grubb will continue to put the ball in Jam and Kevin's hands,
Mm-hmm.
and fight fire with fire, run the ball 25 plus times and take some
Yeah.
pressure off a tie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that would be a big deal for us Saturday.
Yeah, I don't want us to get to the season where we like you said, we always got to depend on Ty to win us games. Like I love a great balanced offense. To me, I'd rather have a great running game than like it's due to play actions or RPOs off a great run game than have an explosive passing game but can't run the ball because there are gonna be times where the passing game just not working. And if you can't run the ball, then you got all the three and outs. It's like kind of like last year. We depended on big explosive plays, but we couldn't run the ball when Jalen Miro couldn't be the focus of the run game. So we have all these three and outs. Defense stay on the field. They get tired. Then you just run the ball down our throats. So that's what we can't have. Like you said, we need to sustain drives, and we've been doing a great job of that this season. So hats off to Ryan Grubb. I
Absolutely.
know I know Nick Sheridan was glad when Ryan Grubb came back. He's like, I can't take all this pressure. There's too much pressure to be the OC for Alabama.
Yeah, and there's no shame in that. Like when you
Yeah.
know that you're in a role that's
Mhm.
not necessarily too big for you. I don't think it was too big for him. I just think that some people are not meant to be at that level of being an OC. So he's in a better fit now in the role that he's in, and they're flourishing. So there's nothing to be ashamed of with that. But to your point, yeah, I'm sure he was one of the most relieved to see the headline, Grubb accepting the job. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go into a prediction. We got Missouri at Missouri. So do you know what the spread is and how much we're favored by?
Last time I looked at it, Vegas had us at an even 3 points.
Oh wow! So they think this is gonna be
So
a close game.
they do. As early this morning at like 7 o'clock, it was low as 2.5
Oh
for
man,
Bama's way. So
yeah.
uh, Vegas thinks it's going to be a close one.
Okay. Do you know what was it the point over under is on the points?
50, 56, 58, I
Okay. Well,
believe.
I hope Bama have 45 of those.
Right? Uh, over under is 52,
Okay.
and ESPN Bet Sportsbook is showing a line of 5.5 Bama's way now. So
Oh, so
we're,
something
we're
going on.
we've seen a full 3 point swing in less than 18 hours, which is wild.
Did somebody get hurt or something? Some
Not
people.
well, not that I know of, but when you see a swing like that, it's usually indicative of something like that.
Okay. So what's your prediction? Your score prediction for the game?
I don't see Mizzou's defense being able to stifle anything that we're doing on offense. I thought we were going to hang more points on Vandy. Credit to them for holding us to 30 and really for holding us to 23. We got, was 25 seconds left, 23
Yeah.
seconds left. Jam got a what we'll call a walk-off touchdown, but
Yeah.
I think we hang 41 on
Okay.
Mizzou. And I think we hold them to they're going to score points. I think we hold them to 27.
Okay. Um, I go 38-21. I want us to win a big statement game. I want us to just don't. I don't want this to be close at all. I want us to just dominate. I wanted us to get in the fourth quarter where we can play some of our young guys, like just get some of our other guys off the field because we already got some injuries. We don't need any more injuries. So just kind of dominate, get off the field, and go home. Um, get Austin Mack in there, get him some reps just in case. You never know.
Absolutely.
You never know when you may need Austin Mack to come in there. Get some of our other running backs. I don't know. I guess with Jan Miller back, our rotation just got a lot smaller at running back. So Richard Young and Daniel Hill and those guys just can't see the field right now. Because Jan
Right.
Miller and Kevin Riley just playing so well. They, I know Ryan Grubb said he wanted, and Kalen said they want explosive plays from the running backs, and they just our most explosive players probably outside of Act Deer, but Act Deer just so young, he can't pass pro, so you can't just have
Right.
him back there. So just get those guys some reps, get them some film, so when they transfer, they can have some film on
You're right.
the
Yeah.
because
A
somebody
spade's
gonna
a spade.
transfer. So this is how it is these days. Somebody gonna
Yes, sir.
transfer. So all right. So hey man, roll tide, man. I think where you gonna watch the game at?
I think so. Deer season's coming in. We got to get these
Okay.
fields ready. So I'm gonna be down in Columbus, Mississippi, Aberdeen, Mississippi. We're gonna be on some tractors and spreading some seed and getting getting the field ready to
Okay.
get those deer to come in so we can get our freezers full. So I'll be watching my in-laws' house most likely. How about you? Where are you
Yeah,
gonna be?
I know I ain't gonna be in the woods with some deers. I know that. uh, I'm gonna have my daughter this weekend, so I may just watch at the house, get some pizza, some wings, or I don't know. I'm trying to eat better. I've been working out, so I'm trying to eat better. So I may just get her some pizza and I may just uh cook me some chicken breast and some rice and broccoli. So I'm trying to eat better, man. Ain't no
I
point of
hear you,
working
man.
out. Ain't no point of working out if you ain't gonna eat right. So
Hey, 70% of it's nutrition, man. Absolutely.
yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But remember y'all, like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your mother, share with your father, share with your kids, share with everybody, vibing with the tide. So without y'all, we wouldn't be able to have the enjoyment to do this because we do it not just for us but for y'all too, because to show our knowledge, gain knowledge, and y'all respond
That's
back
right.
with y'all knowledge. So thank you, Dane, man. See you next week, man.
Yes, sir. As always, roll with.
Roll it.
Vibing, vibing with the tide.